morning. It is Tim, Eli, and me, Jenny. We're going to tell you a story, actually, kind of, sort of, with lots of information in it, about the Grinch who stole your data.
Yep.
He's a mean one.
It'd be interesting. He's a mean one, that Mr. Grinch.
Yeah.
Are you going to sing for us?
The lyrics in front of me. I might. Don't threaten me with a good time.
Stay till the end because you might have a treat. So, before we do, though, go to dstech.net and sign up for our newsletter where I share. The last 3 articles I did were all about, gifts and holiday things and fun stuff. So, and some tips for your holiday shopping to keep your data, your personal data, safe. Anyway, so how's the story go?
Well, it's just kind of, the Grinch is trying to steal everyone's data, instead of trying to steal the presents and ruin Christmas for everyone. So here we're going to have some analogies to kind of talk about what you can do to prevent that data from being stolen and how to, maybe keep your presents on lockdown. So,
and plot twist.
So we are
this Grinch's heart does not grow any sizes.
He does in step 8.
Oh, okay.
Oh, he does?
Yeah, but the real ones don't. No, yeah, the real ones don't have hearts.
No.
Oh, we don't know. No. Anyway.
We don't know.
So going through this here, the first topic was talking about securing the sleigh. So that's kind of like, just like securing his sleigh, the Grinch needs to ensure that all network devices are secure. So this includes like firewalls, intrusion detective systems, and ensuring that your devices are up to date with the latest security patches. Far too often, people may just pull the sleigh out from last year and think it's still running fine, but you need to constantly update it. Once you install your firewalls and those edge devices, you want to make sure you have a plan in place to update your firmware regularly and make sure everything's patched and up to date with the latest in security and stuff like that. So step 2 would be encrypting the presents. So that would be, rather than wrapping your presents in clear tape where everyone's going to be able to see what's inside of it, you're going to want to actually put, something around it.
I have some clear wrapping paper. It's actually clear. And I'm like, what's the purpose?
Yeah.
Maybe the lights.
I think it's actually for baskets.
Wrap it over the top of your paper or something.
Right.
I have no
idea. You
idea.
can walk back and forth in a blizzard or something.
I don't remember why I got it, honestly. It's in my pile. And every year I see it there and I'm like,
still doesn't use it.
It's invisible.
I think I got it for a basket at one point. I made a basket for something.
That can make sense.
Anyway.
So this is just talking about encrypting your data.
Your data
Don't wrap
clear.
your data in clear.
Yeah.
You want to encrypt your data, wrap it in something that's actually securing it. So most companies will use like BitLocker built in with Windows, things like that. But have some sort of encryption enabled on your systems. If it's not, reach out to us. We can help you with that as well. Just make sure that your contents of the presents are staying hidden and not.
Okay, so back up a little bit. We might have some viewers and me, right? Who encrypting
right.
data is. What does that
Easier
mean?
The idea is that if someone were to steal your laptop, like they steal this laptop and they take the physical hard drive out of it and plug it into their computer to try to steal the contents off of it, unless they have the decryption key, which is a long string, a code that's a special character, they can't access the data. It's basically locked down unless they have that decryption key.
Okay, gotcha.
And is that a setting you can adjust, or is that just mostly something you get as a, like you say, BitLocker?
Yeah, BitLocker is like part of like Windows. The software is in there.
Okay.
It's usually built in. You just need to enable it and set it up with your accounts and things like that. So it's not like you usually have to pay anything extra for it. It's just knowing how to configure it and turning it on and things like that. And there might be a small fee with like Windows. I don't know the nuance with the.
I think Windows Defender is a few dollars more a month.
Yeah, and so you might get that with that. That's probably a little bit of a cost point there, but it's probably not too much. But encrypting your data is definitely good, especially laptops is the biggest thing. I mean, your desktops, no one's going to steal your desktop as often, but laptops always should be encrypted no matter what because of the theft and
I
they
know
get lost.
Accountants encrypt their attachments.
Yeah, people encrypt their databases. There's all kinds of ways to encrypt it, but basically think of encryption as a secure layer on top of your data so that they need an extra password just to even access that data.
Got it.
So now we got Cindy Lou Who's verification. So that's similar to like the 2-factor authentication, which you probably heard us talk about quite a bit. So the Grinch can learn from Cindy Lou Who's inquisitiveness by implementing 2-factor authentication, making it harder for unauthorized users to access sensitive data. So
Cindy Who is trying to get the Grinches?
I think that's what the word is going here.
Because she's so inquisitive. Interesting.
Yeah. And so
because she's asking all those questions.
Yeah,
when he shows up. So
trying to get those security reset passwords.
He's like, I'm Santa.
Right? Don't answer those.
She's like, okay.
Mm-hmm. So basically,
she's sneaky.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. You should have a fire lit or something.
Yeah. So the main idea is that you have two factors of identification when you're going through your setups with your account. So you have your typical, you got your email and then your password that goes with your email when you're logging in, whether it's Facebook, your work email, whatever. And then you're probably familiar with most of them that ask you to set it up where you get a text message prompt, or the more secure ways to have a rotating code within an application. If you don't have two factors set up on all your personal accounts and business accounts, I recommend definitely go through it, because it's the single most thing you can do to prevent a hacker from getting in willy-nilly and being able to just run rampant with all your accounts, is having that roadblock in place there.
So do I have 3 factors if it goes code and then fingerprint?
Kind of like I always joke, I think
Hey,
I'm
there
like,
you go.
like 4 or 5 factor, but that's
Yeah,
still the
yeah.
instead of a password, it's probably using your thumbprint, but biometrics is still better than having a password, right?
Well,
So you,
I put my password in.
yep.
then
and then you do your
it-
thumbprint.
Nope. Then it wants the code from the app on my phone,
Yep.
and
you,
then it wants my
yeah,
fingerprint.
so 3FA. There you go.
So
Exactly.
Hey, there you go.
There's some accounts I have here. It's like I almost
You
have
heard
like
it from us.
5FA, where you got to log into this, to
3FA.
log into this, to get this password, to get
Yeah.
to this one, to finally get in, because it's just that
It's
many
like
layers of deep. So.
Once a week.
It's like having a
it's like
bunch
every
of
Monday with the sign-ons.
Yeah.
deadbolts and chains on your
Yep.
door, right?
But that's just the way we have to be now, just with
Yep.
it's the onion approach, where you have multiple layers protecting things. So even if they breach one layer, it's not going to be able to breach all the layers to get to your data. So
They will find somebody who's easier.
exactly.
Anyway.
It doesn't make them cry when they cut them.
Whoville's watchful neighbors. So that would be like monitoring and logging. So just as the neighbors in Whoville keep an eye out for each other, the Grinch should monitor and log access to systems quickly, identify and respond to suspicious activity. So that would be like if you're like SIM out there, or the different monitoring where we have things that's monitoring your traffic. And if we get alerted to things like maybe you have an M365 account, we get alerts, say your M365 account tried to log in from a different country outside the US, and we know that you're based in the US. So that's like an alert we'll get, and then we can kind of follow up with that. So having monitoring and logging in place for your
Yeah.
accounts is definitely very handy, and can prevent a hacker from spreading, and you can revoke access right away and get it.
And is that that's SIM or SIM rather than the users at home might be thinking like SIM card, right? Or are you
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
about
It's
Oh.
like
it's
'cause we-
SIEM, right?
Yeah, because
So-
SIEM, I should say that instead of SIM. I just but that's what most of the. But we can
All these
also
Well, a lot of the
set up
tech
alerts
gurus
correctly.
might have just picked that right up, but some other
I
folks
didn't know.
might not
I thought
know.
it was
Yeah.
a sim. I did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
no, yeah,
I mean, because
yeah.
it's a fair,
Yeah,
it's
no,
a
that's-
homophone type of deal.
Yep.
So
It's your neighborhood
that's
watch.
what security
Right?
incident and
We-
endpoint
You can have
management.
basic logging at the M365
Mhm.
level too, where like with Microsoft themselves, you can pay them a premium and just get like alerts just from your Microsoft accounts. What the SIEM solution does is it takes your data from your Microsoft accounts, data from your computers, data from your firewall, data from your internet traffic, and it takes all that data together and then looks at events. Because an example would be on Monday, I come in, I type my password in wrong. That's an alert, but it's like I just didn't have enough coffee. I
Right.
fat fingered my password. But now
We've
if
all
I
been
type
there.
but now if I type my password in wrong and it's coming from China, those two things together are more
That'll
anomalous and
throw a
scary. So
code.
that's why having all the different
Yeah.
data grouped together is important. But yeah, but you can have even just basic alerting from one system too.
Mhm.
But yeah.
That's confusing.
Well, it makes sense.
Sorry
I'm
to
just
get a
gonna
little nerdy.
I'm
in the
just
weeds
gonna
there
call
on you.
it the neighborhood watch.
Yeah.
Neighborhood watch. Yep. So alerting and logging, letting you know what's happening. Oh, there's something suspicious happening. Let's let you know about it before they get to your house, kind of a thing.
Question, going back to 2FA or MFA,
Mhm.
3.
Yeah.
I've been talking to a lot of folks who have some semblance of MFA and, don't have it on everything. Now,
Mhm.
correct me if I'm wrong, but if someone can travel laterally, then that's, they're still not as protected as they should be, right?
Yeah, you should have MFA on everything. Like, I
You
mean,
get into the computer, but they have MFA on the email, and it's almost
exactly. It's almost like we have a solution here called application whitelisting. It's called Threat Locker, and how I like to position that one too for people and things like that is that if even someone gets your administrator password and they try to install a program on your computer, you can have an application on there that says, hey, this program isn't on our bouncer list of known programs that are allowed in our club or our environment. So it'll still block, and it's like almost multi-factor for installing programs. You know what I mean? So
Oh.
there's things out there that you can put in place to
Interesting.
definitely help. So even in the event someone does breach your password, like with MFA or whatever it is, that there's additional layers in place to prevent the lateral movement and to prevent them from doing damage with that. So there's
Awesome.
definitely things out there that we can implement that are available that we can work on too. So.
Wow.
Max's loyalty talks about employee training and awareness, so the Grinch can ensure that his team, like Max the dog, is well trained and aware of cybersecurity threats, emphasizing the importance of not falling for phishing scams or sharing passwords. So
Train your dogs.
Yeah, so train your dogs to be able to spot the intruders or spot the fake
That would be
emails.
us, the employees.
Save this. If this gets taken down, because this is gold.
Yeah.
So next is the stealthy as the Grinch, use of VPNs. So to move unseen and protect his location, the Grinch can use virtual private networks or VPNs when accessing internet, especially in public networks. So the idea of that is when you're traveling and you're on a hotel Wi-Fi or something like that, you could put your VPN on, so that way your data is not being logged by all their stuff and you're keeping your stuff more private with that. So
Better yet, don't connect to it.
Yeah, better yet, don't connect to it. Use your, if your phone has hotspot data, just use that itself natively.
Or it's if you have unlimited data, just use your data.
Right.
Exactly.
Right?
Yep. That's what I always do.
And unlimited data is not as expensive as it used to be.
Yeah,
so.
it used to be
So true.
crazy expensive,
Absolutely.
but now it's
Absolutely.
everywhere. Yes. So definitely.
And it used to cause so much like family disparity and whatnot too, because
I only pay
everyone would get
$25
the
a month.
text,
Right. Who
and
used
then it'd
all
be like,
who used all the data?
who's watching YouTube and fell asleep? 25% for the month, and it's the 10th.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah. So
Anyway.
that's one thing. Use the VPNs if you can on your mobile device, on your laptops, anything else. You can VPN into your home, in your actual work network if you're doing work-related things, or you can even get one of those VPN solutions out there for like $5-10 a month. It's even cheaper than that, and then you can have a VPN in place. Avoid the free VPNs because typically those free VPNs are going to take your data and sell it. That's why it's free, is because you're the product basically.
They're just another scammer out there, but
so,
and they're not expensive.
Look for no logs
I
and
think
a paid
$39
service is my
a
advice.
year.
Yeah,
Something like that. Yeah, it's not bad.
You got your secure chimney entry. So that would be like having strong passwords and access control. So just like securing your entry and exit points, the Grinch needs strong passwords and strict access controls to ensure that only authorized personnel can access sensitive data. So that's just having good passwords in place. When you have a staff member and you add them to the public share of your data, you're not giving them access to the accounting and all the details. You're just giving them need to know access where they can go.
Need to know access. Like you're talking zero trust.
Yep, zero trust, things like that too. Yep. So that's access control.
We should do a new episode on zero trust.
We could probably do one of those. That'd be.
We did have a whole episode on zero trust back in the day.
I haven't hit that in a while too. Yeah, that'd be a good one to re-hit it.
Yeah,
so that's good.
You guys need to know about zero trust. Yep. Okay.
And, one tip with strong passwords I will use too is nowadays it's even better to have like a long phrase. The one I always say is just pick one of your songs or whatever it is. So I'll say like the cow jumped over the moon. Whatever, and some little phrase that's that long with spaces in it is actually more secure than like a garbled password who's like 10 characters with weird symbols and stuff, because it's the length of the password that can actually be more secure than the symbols. So keep that in mind.
Or let your password generator.
Yeah, if you have your password, that's the best, because then it's completely garbled and you don't even have to remember it. If you have a some sort of password manager that
is
can
what
store
I was
it.
trying to say. Yeah, I couldn't remember the manager part.
Right.
So now we have the Grinch heart is growing. See, I'm sorry, Eli. So there's regular security audits as the Grinch heart grows. So his commitment to regular security audits to identify and address vulnerabilities. So his heart is growing. Is kind of his security awareness is growing because every once in a while he's going through and doing an audit, looking for weaknesses and holes in the network, and then performing the appropriate fixes or patches if provided, or mitigating.
If his heart's growing, does that mean there's gifts?
They get their data back.
I don't know. I haven't gotten to the conclusion of this yet. We have disguise mastery. Yeah, that's right.
Stay tuned.
There's a disguise mastery, which is anti-malware or antivirus protection. So the Grinch, who's a master of disguise, should use anti-malware, antivirus, or the most common, it's like MDR. Now is probably what you hear in the real world, to detect and protect against malicious software trying to disguise itself, because it's very common that someone will download something and it's meant to look like something else, and someone took the code and then altered it a little bit to do something malicious. So having good EDR, MDR software can identify that. If you're a customer of ours, you definitely have one of the best in the industry with the Sentinel-1 with the 24-hour SOC, all that kind of stuff. But if you're just running classic old antiviruses, just make sure the definitions are up to date, things like that. Maybe look at getting into the MDR solution, not just an antivirus.
So that makes me think of when I'm looking for recipes, there's always that big print. It's not actually part of their website. And
Yes.
it tricks you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's an advertisement, and it's usually something
and it's like
nefarious.
I've seen that. I've had
Mhm.
you go to like watch one of your favorite podcasts or whatever.
Click here to download it.
Either
And
that or
you gotta
you'll
watch.
get the ad that pops up and says like press start to continue. And if you do, it'll take you to the ad. You just gotta find the tiny little
X
at the top right corner. Yeah. So
So yep.
Anyway,
and that's the nice thing. Having good antivirus will help you with those weird clicks, the weird downloads that you may accidentally click that are. They do a good job of obfuscating what the actual download is and makes it a little bit more tricky to find for sure on that stuff. And lastly, here we have the bag of toys. So that's like your backup and recovery plan. So just like his bag of toys, the Grinch should have a robust backup and recovery plan in place to restore any data lost due to breaches. So that's the biggest thing you can have is having good backups in place. Not even just having one copy, but having multiple copies where you would have like a local hard copy, a cloud copy. Because in the event something happened to the building where it burned down, you'd have a copy of the data elsewhere offsite. And having all those redundant backups. And then not only having the backups, but testing them. Every once in a while, take a backup and load it, try to pull some data from it to make sure it works. Because so far too often, companies will set these backups in place, they'll just let them go without testing them, and then an event happens and they need to restore and they haven't tested it in 8 months, and it could be wonky depending on what's happening there. So make sure to have your backups and test them.
Yeah, on that, when you're testing them, not only to make sure that they're working, but can you test for bad actors or suspicious activity in your backups? Because sometimes we've seen it, maybe not we, but out in the wild, the current events, you'll see
we've seen a lot of stuff.
Someone that's backed up. Well, right, absolutely. I'm like,
we probably have
seen
seen it.
or like so anyway.
You probably have seen
the term in the industry you're looking for is called dwell time, or the average amount of time that someone is in your computer lurking around before an actual ransomware event triggers can be up to 6 months. That's kind of the average time.
Yep.
So what happens is
trying to speak to.
if you get your backup in place and you don't have all the extra alerting,
good job,
and
you
logging,
backed up the hack.
all you have is a backup, and that's it. And you have no logs, no alerting. You weren't collecting logs during that with like a SIM or a solution, things like that. That's why those are so important. Is it's for forensic data after a breach, so you can see when did the threat actor first get into the network. When did he start moving around? And using those logging solutions, you actually collect all that data, all the port mirror traffic from your data, and you can go back in time and create a storyline of like, here's where they first went in, here's where they started poking around at your data, here's where they somehow got access to your public share, and here's where they dropped the payload, tried to downloading or whatever. And so you would want to revert back to before the first initial hook into your system. But it's not just backups that will do that. You'd have to pair backups along with some of those other solutions like SIM alerting and things like that. And so usually it's hard to install video cameras on your house after you've been broken into and try to figure out what happened. So the idea is that you have to have all this logging in place before it. It's a preventative measure, but then after an event, it is invaluable because you have all the data you can look to see exactly where they got in and help you recover in a more efficient manner where you're not recovering something and all of a sudden you're getting hit again and you got to try to recover behind that even further.
So yes, backups in this case are more like your camera system rather than your guard dog.
Yeah, kind of. It's just like
I was thinking different. I was thinking more like the camera system is the neighborhood watch.
Sure.
It's all the layers
kind of doesn't matter.
But the biggest thing is you want to have your backups.
We want to have them all.
And that's why they have separated backups too. Is you have different iterations. You might have multiple copies, things like that. And then that's the biggest thing is to get ahead of when the initial breach got onto your system. And again, just the backups alone, it's hard to do that. You need to have all the firewall data, the computer data, all those different logs I was talking about, ingesting it into that solution to then be able to go back and create that timeline of events. And again, that's usually a top-end solution. It's called a SIEM or SIM some places, but I should get more in the habit of saying SIEM because that'll differentiate it from the SIM cards and make it a little
Seems like a good idea.
Yeah.
That's creepy.
Yeah.
That's super creepy.
That's about
He's
all
a mean one, that Mr. Grinch.
Yeah, he knows all the tricks.
His heart's an empty hole. Yeah, he's terrible.
I told you we'd get a gift.
I told you
his
heart wouldn't grow. I don't see any.
You
don't have a teleprompter. This is
singing?
all except for Tim.
He's
this
a mean
is just
one.
off the cuff.
Sing it.
You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. if you really like, show us that you're watching by commenting.
Yeah, let
Maybe
Eli
you'll get
know
the
that you
rest
liked his
Of the
singing.
carol. Maybe you'll get karaoke out of us.
No, maybe him.
Just Eli.
Just Eli.
And maybe you'll get
No one
tours
wants
of the
to hear my
Christmas
singing.
party.
Mine's okay, but I'm a better pianist than I am a singer. Anyway,
She probably plays piano better than I do too. So yeah.
we'll have to have a musical episode someday.
Saxophones.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What are you bringing to the table, Tim?
I only know how to play the piano a little bit.
All right,
It's
all right.
very-
We'll do a duet.
Duet.
Yeah,
And
we'll do
you
a trio.
You do the easy part, and I'll do the hard part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So he's a mean one, that Mr. Grinch. Make sure you protect your data from him. All right. So go to our website, dstech.net, sign up for our newsletter so you can find out what our next episodes are going to be and when we're going to be. And I don't know, I post all kinds of stuff and give you all kinds of little tips. So,
Stay
oh,
warm.
and you get your free
Yeah.
assessment too if you go to our website. Go there and sign up for it. So make it a great day and keep that Grinch away from your Christmas
Yes.
tree.
Seasick crocodile.